episode of Billy Watson TV. Today it gives me great pleasure to have a returning guest on the show, who is a fabulous singer who I have met after her 3 last appearances in Edinburgh to perform, and each time left amazed by her voice, as well as writing her own songs. She is also an amazing interpreter of others, and has just released an album of Bob Dylan and Leonard Cohen songs called Hallelujah on Desolation Row, which has received great reviews. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Barb Jungr to the show. Welcome, Barb. Welcome, Barb.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Billy Watson TV. As the little intro said there, it gives me great pleasure to have an old friend on, Barb Jungr, who's a fantastic singer-songwriter, and I've just interrupted her doing a bit of writing today, so thanks for joining me again on the show, Barb. How are you today?
Thank you so much. I'm good, thank you. I'm good. I'm distracted because I've got ants in my house.
Oh dear.
I've just had a message saying, "Oh, the ants are at the back gate again."
All
I've
right.
got ants in my house, and I'm in the middle of writing, and so I'm kind of like that. And this morning, Billy, this will make you laugh. I went to the dental hygienist on the wrong day.
All
So I
right.
went in and I said, "Hi, I've got an appointment with Jade," and they went, "Jade doesn't work today." And I went, "No, I've got an appointment." And they went, "No, that's tomorrow." And
Yeah.
I went, "Is it? Is it?" So I think that tells you everything you need to know
Yeah.
about how it is in the minute.
Well, at least you've not got ants in your pants. That's a bonus.
No, but I am going to run downstairs in a second because I'm going to have to make sure they're not coming in the back door.
Yeah. Well, that's not good.
No, it's not good, Billy. It's not.
If you want to do that, I can play I've got a little promo here of your current tour. That's on
I'd love
YouTube.
it if you'd play that, and then I can go and spray these little, tiny little
Sure,
beings.
we'll do that.
Um, Much as I love them.
No, they're all right when they're
You do
outside, but you
that.
don't want them infesting your house.
I don't want them infesting my house. Thank you. This is a great show already.
No worries, we'll
This is
stick
the
it
kind
on.
of
And
thing you want to see politicians saying to one another, and they don't. And this would make you like them.
I'll take more than that.
I'll be 2 minutes, Billy.
Okay, no worries. Cheers. So, yeah, here's some Barb, and hopefully this will come up here. What's happening? So apparently Emma there's telling me that that wasn't working. I did. It's got a thing here for staging on YouTube to play it, but there was a message coming up, I believe, saying that that wasn't working. So I did have another song lined up to play. So anyway, at least you're not staring at a black screen. Hello there, Christopher Church. I will edit that little clip in later. But here comes Barb back again. I can hear her in the background.
Ah, whoa,
Right.
vicious little things.
Yeah. So how have
It,
you
the
been?
weather's and they just get everywhere. It's extraordinary.
How
It's
have you been dealing
extraordinary.
with them? You've. I know you moved to the south coast a
I
couple of
know,
years
I
ago.
know. And so I live right on the edge of a field.
Yeah.
So I've got everything: badgers, rats, what
Right.
else? Field rats, obviously. Uh, the last night driving home from about 20 miles away, there was a dead deer by the side of the road. I mean, it's like David Attenborough down here.
Yeah. Are you enjoying it though?
I love it. I
Yeah.
absolutely love it. It's quiet at night, and it's beautiful, and the people are nice. There's a
You can
nice
see.
local community, and I find it very useful for working
Yeah.
because I feel calm here.
Last time I spoke to you, you were kind of alluding to that. You were living in Stockport, looking after your mother, and you brought her
I was
down there
looking
with you.
after my mum in the lockdown, and then my mum and I came down here together, and she stayed with me till she died, and that was really, I mean, very difficult at the end, obviously, because she was in a lot of distress. But she died holding my hand. I was
Right.
there, and that's the best I could have wanted. Is that
Yeah.
she wasn't on her own when she went.
Yeah. Not in a care home as well, just at home with you.
Yeah,
And she had Alzheimer's, yeah,
yeah, she did. She had dementia.
dementia, yeah. So yeah, a very difficult thing to live with, and I guess you done the right thing by her and gave her a nice
I
send off.
tried. I tried, Billy. That's all you can do.
Yeah. So you've got a nice peaceful setting down there
Yes,
outside the hustle and bustle.
exactly so.
And you've recorded an album recently. I was just listening to your previous album. I see
Yeah,
Bob there, Bob Brell. You do like your Bob Dylan covers, and
I love
this,
Bob Dylan.
and you've got Leonard
Yeah,
Cohen in this one as well. With the
yeah.
musicians you're working that with, is that where you are, or did you have to travel for that?
I'm for performing them.
No, for recording the album.
Oh, yeah, I recorded it in London.
Yeah.
I
So
recorded it in London with Simon Wallace at Simon Wallace's studio. He did all the arrangements and produced it. He did a fantastic job. He's a wonderful, wonderful musician, and he couldn't have done me better.
that's cool. Here's
Couldn't have.
the thing there. Barb Younger and her trio featuring Simon Wallace. Is it? Is it? I seen you a few years ago in Edinburgh, and I think
Yeah.
the guy you were working with there, did he die? And then,
No, that was Jamie Sophia. Jamie
oh,
Sophia was on piano the last time you saw me.
all right,
When I used to work with Jungr and Parker, Michael Parker died.
right, okay,
But he and I hadn't worked together for a very long time. But he sadly died. Gosh, I'm not very good at the past, Billy. So I can't tell you how many years ago, but it was pre-pandemic.
right. So you've been working with Simon Wallace for quite a while now.
I've been working with Simon Wallace for 20 plus years, 25 years,
All right,
because he
and
worked on the Chanson album with me. So,
right.
I've known him a long time. So, yeah,
So
he's
it's a
a
good working.
terrific he's a terrific musician. and a great friend, and his wife's a great friend. She's a lovely singer as well. They're lovely people.
That's cool. And they are doing a few dates for this album and dotted around the country, mainly in the south of
Dotted
England.
about. Yeah, dotted about. Yeah, but times are tough for working musicians, and I think probably everybody you've talked to has said all of this. Times are tough for working musicians. A lot of places are closing, but if they're not closed, they don't have the staff they used to have to be able to do social media, get people in. And also because of the way the world's changed, Billy, there's the audiences that come to jazz and things like that, not the very young jazz that's coming out the Guildhall, um not the Snarky Puppy and Ezra Collective. They're doing great and they're wonderful, and it's right that they're doing great. But that sort of older people jazz,
Yeah.
for want of a better word. That's a terrible way of putting it, and I'm sorry to everybody by saying it that way, but let's just live with that for a minute. Um, I think that it's about the world changing, and
People
I
don't have
think
disposable income these days, really, to go to spend a
there's
lot of
no
money.
disposable income, but also the world's changed, and how we access music has changed. I hope that people playing live will work again, but I think people like me have to view what they do in a completely different way and not care if it makes no money at all, but just enjoy playing. And I think that that's a very different world for a lot of musicians, and that's okay. But you've got to face it, you know what I mean, and you've got to adjust how you find your living in order to face that. I mean, there always was that joke, what do you call a jazz musician without a girlfriend? Homeless. That joke was always there. But it's harder for it's I'm all right, as you know, I work in children's theatre and theatre, musical theatre as well, not as a performer but as a writer. So I have other work, but if you don't have other work, that means you've got to find another way of sustaining yourself, Billy, sustaining yourself. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think change is change, and you can't change and stay the same. All those awful cliches are true. And the world is changing, and we're all having to adapt to that changing world.
Yeah, very much so, but I do think there should be a place for artists to be able to do their art and to be supported in
Well, I
doing
don't know
it.
whether artists were ever supported doing their art. I mean, I kind of wonder whether I'm going to just be a little bit devil's advocate here, but why do we have a right to be supported beyond anybody else being supported? I don't, art's important, of course it is, but so are beds and roofs and something on your table. And and I worry sometimes when I see the language around the importance of art, that this notion that we're separate somewhere. We're not. We're all people, and we're all living in the same world where the demands of our lives are pretty much similar. And I don't think artists can I don't think they can claim any more of a special place than anybody else. And I think there are people who probably come in front of us, to be honest, in terms of those claims. I mean, you know, if you fall off your motorbike and you've got to go in A&E, then somebody sitting there reading you a poem might not be what you need at that moment. It's tricky. It's very tricky because it's not a sliding scale and comparative. But if we separate ourselves out, I don't think we help ourselves. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, you could say in the 70s they became idols, pop stars, and put on a pedestal and
Mm.
seen as being different and earning lots of money and, living the grand mansions lifestyle and stuff. And obviously that didn't happen to everyone, but Led Zeppelins and all these kind of got that image of they are better than us somehow. But in
Well,
reality,
yeah, you see, I'm not a great fan of the whole celebrity notion anyway, and I never have been really. I'm quite happy to. I'm a bit Mother Courage in all of this. I'm quite happy to pull my cart along the road with everybody else. I don't, and I don't don't feel the necessity to doff my cap at the notion of celebrity. I'll doff my cap at the notion of greatness. I'll doff my cap for Nina Simone. I'll
Yeah,
doff my cap for, oh, I don't know, Otis Redding. I could keep on going. We get the picture. But I'm not doffing my cap just because people have apparently done very well.
yeah. I
And
mean,
that's
there's
true for anything. I think, at the end of the day, we've all got the same basic material to work with.
yeah. Well, you certainly do a good job with what you've got to work with, and
Well, that's very kind of you, and thank you.
yeah. You said you were writing. What are you writing today?
I'm writing songs for a piece I'm working on with a writer called Sue Tedden, and she's writing the spoken words, and I'm writing the songs. And so she and I are engaged in producing a first draft of a piece that will hopefully have a workshop at the end of the summer. And we had a big meeting yesterday, so I was excited by that. And it sent me to the piano, and it sent me to my computer, and it sent me to the script, and then that's my head's just full of it. So that's what I'm writing today.
Yeah, it's good when you have something to work towards, because then you start getting ideas. It's because it's on your mind. It's coming up soon.
Exactly.
If you don't have
Exactly.
that focus, then oh, I'll not bother today or whatever. But
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and then the brain starts working in that creative way where you're doing something else, and an ideal will come. And if you
Exactly.
jot that down,
Exactly.
yeah, it's an
Exactly.
interesting process. Like, I'm currently going over my books and I'm editing them, and I'm going looking back in the past, and so just with fresh eyes sometimes, I can change that. So it's sometimes a never ending process. I guess it's the same with your songs you perform, they kind of change and mutate.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's completely the same.
Have you
Yes.
got any plans for writing songs for a new album? Like your own songs?
No, no, I don't. At the minute, no. This has only just come out. Hallelujah and Desolation Row has only just come out, and I think it needs to live its life,
Yeah.
and that'll be at least a couple of years, if not 3 or 4,
Yeah.
and then I'm in the way of looking at your life. I'm not younger than I was in 3 and 4 years. I'll see how I feel then, and about what I feel then. Um, I'm yeah,
Well, on this album, there's a
I'm
few of your tracks.
reframing. I'm going through a reframe, Billy.
Yeah, there's a few of your songs on this album, so there's sometimes you'll get a song or you get a little piece, and you might just note that down and put it in the back burner.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I quite like to not put yourself under pressure. I think that idea that you've got to deliver something again. You've got to. Well, I don't actually.
Yeah.
This might be the last album I make. It might not. All of that's possible and not possible. But life changes and life goes on and life changes and people change and all of that.
Yeah.
I'm very focused on change today, aren't I?
Yeah.
There's a lot of change going on here. Whoa.
How many albums have you actually put out over the years? Do you know?
It's a really good question. A few. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be 20 plus.
Yeah, because I've just
Um,
ordered one from
Solo albums. It's got
it's
to be 20
just
plus.
site them on Facebook. It's like second-hand CDs, and I was looking through some yesterday, and your one came up with Every Grain of Sand.
Oh,
So,
that's a rare one now.
all right,
That's my first Dylan album.
yeah, that's on its way to me now.
Oh, I mean, I'm ever so proud of that. I'm very proud of the work that I say we because I've worked with a lot of really great musicians and arrangers, and otherwise they'd be a cappella things and nobody would care. So I'm very proud of the work we've done, and I'm very proud of that album and the contributions of everybody to it, including the wonderful Callum Malcolm who produced it for Lynn Records, up in up there in.
Yeah, that's cool. I look forward to listening to that. I noticed you were on holiday recently. I don't know, a couple of weeks maybe. You were
I
into America.
was. I was on a little bit of a musical journey. I was having a reboot. I went to Nashville and Memphis and New Orleans, and I'd never been to any of those places. And of course, a lot of the music I love is rooted in those cities, and so it was really great to go there, Billy, and it was really great to see them for myself. I mean, they're touristified now, all of them, and those days are gone. The days of Stax are gone. The days of Elvis are gone. That doesn't mean people don't love it and don't listen to it. That's not what I mean. But what I mean is the world that gave us that is gone. I cried when I saw that sign
Yeah.
there. That was, the staple singers. Are you kidding me? Isaac Hayes, Otis Redding. I mean, Sam and Dave. The Green Onions. Everything. The band. It was just. It was knockout. It was knockout.
Seen
Yeah,
Elvis as
Elvis explode. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
so yeah, it's
Elvis's
fantastic music. I'm
suits
actually
and
surprised to hear that you hadn't been there because obviously I know you've been to America and you have performed there. So I thought those were
I
the
know, but
places.
I'd never been to the South. I'd never
Right.
been down south. You know.
Uh, you've got a picture of you. Well, not you, but the big steamboat, Huckleberry
Yeah, I
Finn.
just put that because I was standing on the banks of the Mississippi River, and I thought, oh my Lord, there it is, the Mississippi River, the mighty Mississippi.
Yeah, I used to watch Huckleberry Finn when I was younger.
Did you?
So that's the first
Yeah,
thing I
that was
thought
a
of when I seen.
journey, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Huckleberry Finn made a journey and a half.
yeah. And then you were in
Yeah,
New Orleans as well,
yeah.
home of the blues and all that, or jazz.
Home of jazz.
Yeah.
You know,
So was there lots of bars there playing the live music and still? What was it?
there was everywhere you went, there was live music. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I seen a picture of you. You look like you'd had a little tipple in a balcony listening to somebody play the saw.
Yes, yeah, that was wonderful. And
Yeah.
it was a young woman playing us. There was a little group, and they'd set up on a corner, and they were playing, and she was playing the saw. And I just thought, oh, this is like a dream world, isn't it? Where you sat on a balcony, having a glass of lemonade, listening to somebody playing a saw. Come on,
Yeah.
what's not to like?
Who were you there with? I see there's a picture here. You went to Key West and there's a few people there.
Oh yeah, that's that's my brother-in-law at the back, and
Uh-huh.
my brother-in-law's cousins, who came and joined us. And my brother-in-law do a lot of fair bit of travelling together, and his cousins. One of them's very well. One of them's increasingly unwell, so they came and joined us, and that was really lovely.
All right. Key West, that was interesting as well, was it? Quite
It was wonderful. It was wonderful. I had a wonderful time.
looks like an
Had a
interesting
wonderful.
building.
Oh yeah, there are these beautiful buildings there, just quite beautiful. So I took a lot of pictures of beautiful buildings just because I could.
Yeah. So it's good to hear you had a nice time and you were on the beach as well.
I was indeed on the beach as well. I managed to get a couple of little beachy days,
Is there
peachy
any
beachy days.
is there beaches down where you live there?
No, when we stayed on South Beach in Miami, so we had to walk across the road, with your bag, with all your towels and everything. Walked
Yeah.
across the road, and you can rent a lounger and an umbrella. You need to because the sun is strong.
Yeah.
Oh, it was lovely, Billy. It was really lovely. I felt very lucky to have made that trip. I mean, I might not ever visit any of those places again. I went into the bayou as well. We went on this little boat into the bayou and saw alligators and snakes and raccoons and
All right.
turtles and really fantastic foliage and an owl. And I mean,
Yeah, I seen
um,
that. You did a post with lots of different animals. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, it's a whole different world, isn't it?
It is a whole different world, and it's just good when everything is. The news, as we both know, is tricky, and it's good to remember. In the words of the late great, I say to myself, "What a beautiful world!"
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
And also you went to
sweet
see
fields of
the Grand Old
green.
Opry as well.
I went to the Grand Old Opry because what's the point of going Nashville and not going there?
Yeah.
And that was special. It was special. And again, I might never go again. So it was great to be able to go and it was great to experience it. And
And
Yeah,
you
it
think
was
of all the
lovely.
people that have been on that stage. It's
I
quite
know.
quite a
I
history.
know. Absolutely. They're great.
Yeah,
Um, and I think I came away with a great sense of that, of the greatness of some of the artists that have shaped me. And it was, and I suppose I was looking for that. I was looking for an answer to some deeper questions, which are not for anybody else. They're just for me. Um, but there was something about that was really interesting, Billy.
yeah. So a place I would like to go. Obviously, it's not quite the same as what it used to be, but I mean, they had Crystal Gale there. Was she performing every night, or was that just a special gig?
No, it was a special. She's I don't think she's singing so much these days for various reasons.
Right. Loretta Lynn was her sister, wasn't she?
That's correct.
Aye.
Yeah. Yeah,
Quite.
and I think Crystal was always perhaps a bit more of a recording artist. Loretta Lynn is Nashville royalty,
Yeah.
country music royalties, but they grew up outside Nashville, but Nashville royalty.
Yeah. I know quite a few of their songs. My mum used to play Crystal Gale quite a lot when I was growing up.
Ah,
So talking in your sleep and all that stuff, classics. Oh, we've lost her. And something weird's happened there because she's not disappeared from here. Let's see if she comes back. Anyway, hopefully Barb will come back. I can play a wee clip from her. Oh, let's see if she joins us. But here's a wee clip from Barb.
I'm in New
I missed
Orleans
it.
here. This is the mighty Mississippi River. Took me a long time to get here, but look at this. And there's thunder and lightning here at the source of a lot of music I love. I can't tell you how it feels. It's extraordinary. It's absolutely extraordinary. And the thunder and lightning is saying, hey Barb, maybe you're home.
Aye, so I don't know if she's coming back, but we'll play that wee clip from. Oh, it's gone. Here's another clip from her listening to the Saw in New Orleans.
In New Orleans, I'm with my brother-in-law. In New Orleans, I'm with my brother-in-law, and you can hear some people playing a saw down there.
Buffering.
And we're having cocktails, and it's a bit breezy.
Oh well. So I don't know what happened there. Barb seemed to have lost connection, and I don't know if she's coming back. There's another site of BB King's Blues Club in New Orleans. And we've also got Marilyn Monroe, famous thing from the movie. Not sure what movie that was in, but that's outside a building. That was in Key West, I believe.
breezy, and it's absolutely brilliant. And New Orleans is magical, as you can see, because there's a woman playing a saw down there. That's just something else, really. And with a cocktail, kind of perfect.
Oh, that's great. Maybe here.
Fabulous.
So yeah, I don't know if Barb's able to get back on. So we might just round it up here. Anyway, it was good to touch base with Barb again. And that's been that one. Hope you enjoyed the show. Sorry for the technical issues. We're only going to do half an hour anyway, so that's about the half-hour mark. I don't know why we lost her there, but that's the story. Basically, Barb's got a new album out. This is a new album. Barb Jungr and her trio featuring Simon Wallace, Hallelujah on Desolation Row, the songs of Bob Dylan and Leonard Cohen. There's a couple of tracks from it on YouTube, which you can check out. So go and do that. I thoroughly recommend if you get the chance to see Barb. She is actually performing in various places. On our website, barbjungr.co.uk, you can go to tour dates, and there, in various places, Chelmsford, Taunton, Southampton, Bridport, London, Worcester, Lichfield, Newport, and Coventry, all coming up in the not too distant future. So, that has been the show with Barb. At least we got 25 minutes out of the 30 we were planning to do, so not too bad overall. And hope you enjoyed that. I'm back tomorrow night with Matt Landman, and hopefully there won't be any technical issues on that one. Thanks for watching. Cheers to now. Bye. Oh, Barb's just ready to come back. Here she comes.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, where are you?
I'm
Yeah,
here.
neither do I.
I don't know what happened. I've just been fishing around trying to work it out. And what I did was I went back in, and
Yeah.
then there it's fine. Anyway, sorry about that.
No worries, I was holding fort. I wasn't sure if you were coming back, so I just played a wee
Yeah, no,
clip.
it just seemed to cut out, and I didn't know why. So I was just trying to work it out.
Yeah.
I'm here. Anyway.
Yeah. Sometimes we get some gremlins and get sweaty palms quite a lot.
Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you do, Billy. Are you going to do Edinburgh this year?
Oh, well, I'm not, because I'm basically ostracised from the comedy world these days. My name is Mud. I am the black sheep for trying to help people by shooting the shit shows or trying to talk about real issues and make, on stage. Comedies went very woke, and people get offended, and I like to try and keep it real. So basically, I'm on the outside looking in these days. I just do my own thing.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
doing some kind of uncensored gigs last year,
Right.
and like Speakeasy. I've done some with Katie Hopkins and various other people who have got that alternative kind of look on things. But yeah, basically, I'll not be doing the festival, and the festival is definitely not what it was. We talked about this briefly in our last chat.
I know, no, it's definitely not, because of course accommodation is so expensive now.
Yeah.
It's had a profound effect on people's ability to come and do anything, and that's really sad.
Yeah.
That's
Not just
really
the
sad.
performers, the actual crowd as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you wouldn't actually know sometimes. Like the last festival I tried to do was I got a venue quite in the outskirts in the last minute, and it was just impossible to get people, even if you're in the main area, to get them to come to your show. Never mind if you're outside the main area a wee bit. But sometimes you'd walk around and you'd wonder, in the past you knew the festival was on, the whole town was buzzing, and for that 3 weeks it was obviously festival time. And sometimes now, if you go down a street, apart from the Royal Mile, you'd wonder if there was a festival on. So,
Well, also, I think things like Oasis choosing to do their shows in the festival, I think that's a massively unthoughtful thing to do.
yeah, because again,
Because
that gives
actually, it would have brought people to Edinburgh at another time. They could have done it in June. They could have done it in September. They could have done it outside the festival, which would have been good for the town. But what they've effectively done is cut the festival possibilities in half, and made it much harder for a lot of people. And I don't know if that was I doubt that that was anybody's intention, but it seems to be thoughtless is the word I would use.
yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm a bit more cynical, so it wouldn't surprise me if that's the intention.
Well,
Some of these people.
I'm going to call it thoughtless, Billy. I'm going
Yeah.
to call it thoughtless. That's what
Yeah,
I'm going to
but
call
but
it.
you're right. Yeah, they could have done that easily outside of that time, because then the prices for
Yeah.
staying there at that time. So if you want to come for the 3 weeks, then
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
particular time is.
yeah. Oh, look, I don't. I don't know why they chose to do that. It feels, we all make mistakes. I'm going to be charitable
Well,
about it.
they got a lot of criticism for this dynamic pricing as well. Where I don't know if you know about that one on
I
Ticketmaster.
do know about that. Thank you very much. Dynamic pricing. Don't even go there.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I understand it, but I don't think it's thoughtful.
yeah, and I don't know. I don't actually understand the whole Oasis thing. It had one good album, possibly two.
I'm not equipped to discuss them. I
Yeah,
wasn't. I wasn't in the music I was into at that time. I didn't really mesh with it. What I understand is that it was meaningful for a lot of people,
yeah,
and that clearly is shown by the number of people who want to come to this.
yeah.
So it was meaningful to a lot of people, but those people weren't me, and clearly they weren't you either. So that's fine. There's room for everybody.
This is true. I think it's a big nostalgia event. But anyway, again,
I
nothing wrong with
learned
that.
there was a wonderful old jazz musician, and she said to me, um, there's room for everything, and I think that was a very good thing to learn and to hear, and well, actually to hear and then to learn. And I go that there are things that I don't understand, and I just go, there's room for everybody.
Yeah,
And also
apart
I
from me.
always like, as my mum used to say, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything.
Yeah,
Because I can tip into Larry too easily otherwise. So I think you can't say something nice.
yeah. Just say not for you, move on. But that's a common.
Exactly.
That's the thing in the world
Exactly.
these days. A lot of people are, trying to get people banned and thrown off the stage rather than just ignore it, and say that.
I know.
People.
Well, perhaps they'll at some point somebody will say it to them and they'll learn. We just can only hope, Billy.
Yeah, you've got a nice philosophy in life.
I'm old enough to have one now.
Yeah. Well, you do. Before you introduce your songs, you've always got nice little stories and kind of positive. It's a very positive energy you come off with on
Well,
stage.
thank you very much.
You leave the people feeling, leaving your show feeling uplifted. I think.
Well, I'm very grateful for that, and I know we're gonna wind up in a minute, so I'm gonna say I'm very grateful for that, and Billy, I'm very grateful for you in all your support and sharing and filming that you've done of my work over the years. You've been extremely kind to give of your time and your talent to do that, and I'm very grateful.
Well, thanks very much. Basically, I'd like to support people who are, amazing. So you're amazing. So I like other people to discover your work and enjoy what I enjoy from it.
Well, thank you so very much, and likewise.
No worries. It's been a pleasure to chat to you. I'm just going to play a quick outro.
It's been a pleasure to chat to you too.
Cool. Thanks very much, Barb. If you just hang loose, I'll just play this outro and then I'll say goodbye to you off air.
I like that very much.
Okay, so thanks everyone else for watching the show. We're back tomorrow night with Matt Landman. And thanks again, Barb. And we'll see
Thank
you in the next one. Cheers.